Hey there everybody, Robert Taylor with Wonderscape Creations, doing a new tutorial series for my companion system that works specifically with Narrative Pro. I will preface by saying that you can indeed make this work without utilizing Pro, but there will be some adjustments that you will have to make, specifically for how you store your classes and whatnot for the companions. So before we do jump on into it, I do just want to show a few things off. Go ahead and hit play here. So I have keybinds set up, that way I can easily add companions and then add them to my party. Um, the additional functionality we will have is the ability to ask them to join our party. Can't because it's full, but if we decide to talk to them again, please follow me. They become a follower and will now follow me. And if I just jump out of here and come here to the companion system, companions, I have 5 companions. Followers, got 1 follower. My party, you have the player, and then all of all the chosen companions that you want to be in your party. So there's Trump, and then NPC data that will allow us to set them all to follow. So as you can see, there's 6 here. 5 plus 1 equals 6. Now the last thing that I want to go over and show working is if we go ahead and save, and then go ahead and hit play again, spawn back in. Now for some reason the NPC didn't continue to follow, so I'm going to get that working real quick, and then we will go ahead and get started. And then just to show that it is now indeed working, there's Phyllis. She is following. I just forgot a little bit of line of code. So let's go ahead and jump into my other project, and we will go ahead and get this set up. All right, so this is my main project. I do like to test out and create my own components and systems in a more controlled environment. Now, if there's anything wrong, I don't mess with the rest of my team who's working on this project here. Very small chance of that happening, but I'm a bit neurotic about that. So, as per usual, when we're setting up a new system, there's a lot of setup we need to do, and that's exactly what we're going to do for the remainder of this episode. So I do apologize for it, but I do promise that it is indeed important. My setup is a little bit different in here. I'm creating a society system that is involving the player relationships, the companion system, and another one that'll keep track of how NPCs are related to other NPCs, so that I can create a more realistic world where if I piss off one NPC, their friends and enemies may hear about it, and if they do, if they're friends, and they'll be upset. If they're enemies, then they'll like the player a little more because of it. So we'll eventually get into that. But obviously, the first thing we need to do is create a new component. And we're going to call this one AC Companions. For me, it's TLCOA. You don't have to have anything there. This is just an easy way for me to find things. Because I don't want to forget about it, we'll go ahead and open this up now and set up a couple of things. First thing being, come in here to the class settings, we need to implement an interface. If we just look for narrative savable component, that way when it comes time to save variables on the component, we can do so. The next thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and we'll wait on the variables because there's a lot of structs we need before that'll work. So now go ahead to wherever you keep your structs, and now you need to understand You don't have to do everything identical to how I'm doing it. Obviously, if you're following along one for one, great. Just so that you understand how my party structure is. Each player will be able to have a set number of pets, and they're attached to that player, whether it's an NPC, a player, or you have a friend that's playing, so their own player. Um, and that's where we're going to start is the pet slot. I'm trying to keep everything contained and controlled and a lot easier to get the data, a lot easier to move the data around. So that is the exact purpose here. So, sorry. My notes is the actual project, so I had to jump around here. So first, let's go ahead and make ourselves a struct. I'm going to call this one s underscore pet slot. When I open this up, we have 4 variables we need. First one being the slot tag. I'm going to make this gameplay tag. And then the next one is going to be my pet, which is going to be NPC definition, my version of it. I would encourage you to use your own version as well. Next one is we're going to add a variable here, slot unlocked. By default, the first 2 in mine will be unlocked. But if they're wanting to have their NPC or their player to have more than 2 pets spawned at a time, they'll need to go into the skill tree and learn those things. So that's why we need that. Excuse me. And then finally, slot in use. Now, before we do anything else, we need to expand on these here, because we need to check mark save game. If we don't, it will not save the data that is within them. It'll certainly save our structures within the component, but it won't save the data that we've placed in there, which is frustrating. But I get it. I understand it. So check mark all this so that it's saved. We're going to hit save here. And the next struct, because yes, we need 2 more structs. Go ahead and do s underscore pets. TLCOA. Sorry, I'm in a different mindset when I'm in my own project. TLCOA. And you're going to go ahead and open up the pets slot, or the pets struct, and it's going to be exactly what you think it is. It's going to be of type pet slot. And we're going to name this one pet slot 1. Then add variable, add variable, add variable. And this one's going to be 2. This one will be 3. And this one will be 4. Now you guys need to understand as well, something I just thought of, I don't have pets set up yet in my game, so I'm just setting this up for future videos when I go more into companions. I'd like to make sure I have everything structurally there, so I don't have to redo a struct, because redoing structs when they're in use can cause the engine to crash, because you're changing things that aren't usually changed all that often. And we're going to do pets full. That way, before we do anything, we check the system to see if all the pets are being used, pet slots are being used or can't, or all the ones that can be used are being used. And if so, then just skip all the code. Don't even worry about it. That way we can keep everything performant. Now, the next thing I want to do is I'm going to come in here to the default values because it's a little important. So I want to make sure that we set it up correctly. And the funny thing is, I didn't even set it up correctly, which is fine. We're going to do that here. Now obviously, first thing we want, slot unlocked. By default, I want these first two unlocked. We now need to make some gameplay tags. You can make them however you want. Me, myself, I utilize data tables, so that's exactly how I'm going to do it. For those of you who would like to know more about that method, then feel free to completely follow along. For those that want to do it the normal way, just follow along by coming here, hitting the plus sign, and doing your own thing. So gameplay tags, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate one. Where's my new one? There we go. Companions. And I will open it up. And first thing I'm going to do is just start removing a bunch of these. And I may wind up changing my tags in the future to a different location. Just for now, for some reason, putting everything under narrative. So actually, I'll do that now. Society dot companions party dot companion one dot pet one. For those of you that are having to create a data table by hand, or right click going to data tables, it's gameplay tag table row. So make sure you go ahead and do that. And now I'm going to duplicate. So I can make this one a 2. Actually, let's be even smarter. Change this one to a 2. 3. 4. Oops. 1 second while I make this UI bigger for my eyes here. All right. Then I will duplicate this. Make it a 5. So now I'm going to do this for pets 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to pause it here and be right back with it. That way you don't have to follow along for another 5 minutes. All right, now that I got this all set up for us, we are going to go ahead and we will go ahead and set this in the project settings here. Come in here to project settings. There it is. Popped up in my other window. And we come in here to gameplay tags. You'll see an option for gameplay tag table list. So we'll go ahead and hit the plus sign here and search for my companions. And now it's all set up. I can close this. So now when I come here, and for some reason it's not showing up. 1 second. All right, it's because all my rows still had narrative as the first word. So I've gone ahead and removed that. So now when I come in here, there it is, society, companion party, and we don't know which pet it's going to be yet, that's what we'll keep it at. Society, companion party. In hindsight, I could have set this up socket itself, but I did not. And the reason I'm doing this is because it makes it easier for us down the road to immediately go to where we want to get the tags. The last thing we need to do in this struct is, again, we need to check mark the save game for all of this. It is very important. There we go. And now for the final struct. This one will be called S underscore party slot. And we want party slots, but we're not going to do a struct of party slots like I did with the pets. It's going to be an array. That way we can choose how many by default the developer has for each game. That way, if you make one game that only has one possible party member at a time, then you can do that. If you have 5, you can do that. If you want to be able to expand as the game progresses, you can do that. It's really completely and totally up to you. For me, I like to keep things modular. That way I can use it in the future easily. Add another one. I'm going to call it character. And again, because I want it to be modular, that means we're going to use the character definition, not our personal definitions. And the reason we're doing this is, say you decide to make this multiplayer, but you don't want the owner of that game to have all 4 of their NPC companions if they have one player added to their game. Then we need to be able to have that player fill up that slot. I haven't done the functions for that possibility yet, but that is certainly something that will be expanded upon down the road. But by default, keeping a character to make everything easy. And so I don't have to make changes to the structures down the road and possibly cause some crashes. Slot in use. Make this a Boolean. And last but not least, add variable called pets. And this will be of type pets. Now, of course, as we did last time, save game, save game, save game, save game. We'll come here to the default value, come down here to society and companion party. That way we can easily find it. Excuse me. And now we can continue on. The next thing I have us going ahead and setting up in this episode are the spawn locations for our party. Now, unfortunately, here's the caveat. I've not been able to figure out how to use the spawner. You can't set. Here, let me see if I can find one. I'm not sure if I have one in here yet. I do. So you can't set the NPC to spawn in Blueprint. You can only set it here in the editor, which obviously causes some issues. So we have to do this a little bit different, which everything still spawns as it should, as you saw. It just means that we can't have it automatically save the spawn. I will be figuring out the code. I'll be jumping into the C++ down the road to see how it's done in the spawner. That way we can modify this code to make it to where we don't have to do some questionable things. At least I think they're questionable, but it works. But I share that because for for now, we need to create our own spawn points instead of utilizing the spawner itself. So here in the society system, I'm going to create a new folder called Blueprints. And I just realized, once again, didn't name that correctly. Excuse me. Now to go back into Blueprints, we need to create ourselves a new blueprint. It will be a component of type scene component. I'm going to call this BP underscore spawn point. All right. So we're going to open this up, and the only thing we're going to add for the time being is a variable of a Boolean, and we're going to check, is this being used? That way, we don't have a whole bunch of these. We don't have NPCs all spawning at the same spawn point if the player has multiple. So, the final thing we will be doing in this particular episode is adding it to our character. So let me find my base player character. And I'm going to go ahead and open this for edit. And we need to add ourselves our new spawn points. So spawn point. I want it to be attached to the mesh itself. That's just my preference. At which point I'll come down. Oops. It's at 50 instead of 10 here. And then we will do 200 and 200. Oh no, that's right. I kept them right next to me. Duplicate. And I don't know why we have a -2 here at the location. 0. 0. There we go. And we'll make this -200. And then this one will be -200. We'll keep the, will be at 200, -200. And then one final one, because I'm doing it with 5, we will remove the 200 from the X. So if I were to select all of these, figures, it won't let you see all of them at once. But it creates somewhat of a, a U around the character. Compile and save. So now we are completely and totally ready to get everything started. And just to make sure we don't forget anything, we'll go ahead and add our companion component to the controller. And we are good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next episode.